Hi everyone! Welcome back to MomNMeBeauty. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is October 1st. That means it's time for our Gotta Have It's and Don't Buy It's for the month of September. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that button down below and then the little bell that is right next to it so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Now, without further ado, let's get started.
So our first part of the video is our Gotta Have It's. And my first Gotta Have It is more of something I've already mentioned, but I've just been loving it even though I've been using it for a long time. And that product is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Pearl. Now I did mention this, I believe, in our April video, and just like I did then, I absolutely love this highlighter. And since then, I have hit pan on this. I don't know if you can see, from this point of view, but I've hit pan, and very soon I'm going to need to purchase another one. But it is just such a beautiful, blinding, wet looking highlighter, and it's just so creamy and it smells amazing. So yeah, still love this highlighter. So another product for me is a purchase that I got a while ago, but I didn't really try it until now because it's more of a fall color versus spring color when I purchased it, and that is the Too Faced Melted Clover Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is just by far one of the most gorgeous purple pink tones that I own. Every day that I wear this, I get at least 5 compliments on my lipstick, and they're always asking me, what is it? Where'd you get it? How much is it? And I'm like, don't know if you want to know how much it is, because it's expensive. I love this stuff, and I might purchase their second liquid lipstick.
One of my Gotta Have It's for the month of September is something that we talked about in our What's on our Sephora and Ulta wish list video. I will link that video up here in the cards for you and then down in the description bar below if you'd like to check it out. The day that we videotaped that, we ran out to Ulta and I purchased myself the BH Cosmetics Aurora Lights palette. This palette is stunning. They are all baked eyeshadows. Oops. They are all baked eyeshadows, and they are all shimmer eyeshadows. So it's not like you can get one full look with just this palette. But that being said, the colors in here are so vibrant, so intensely pigmented. They're stunning. I have the shade Borealis, which is this purple right down here at the bottom. I have that in my outer corners today, and you're so far away, I'm not exactly sure if you're going to be able to see it, but still, it is so stunning. I barely have to put any powder onto my brush for it to show up on my lid. There is one color in here called Kaleidoscope. It's the very first shadow in the palette. That actually is a shade shifter. It goes between like an iridescent purple to a pink, depending on what light you're in. And then there's also a color Ombre, which is, it looks white in the pan. It's all the way on the other side of the palette. That also is a shade shifter. It goes between like an iridescent pink to a white, depending on what light you're in. So this is, I just absolutely love this palette. I've been reaching for it almost every single day in the month of September, and it's so affordable too. So if you're like me and you like bright colors, pick yourself up one of these palettes. You will thank me later.
So my next product that I want to talk about is from Makeup Revolution, and that item is the Revolution The Matte Blush in the shade Nude. Now, before I used this, I loved the Color Workshop, I think it was, their berry blush. That it was one of my favorite blushes, but then I tried this. This by far is way better than any of the berry tones that I like to use. I think that this is just a better shade for me, and it looks a lot better on my skin tone. My next product is the Aesthetica number 12 brush. Now this came in a BoxyCharm from I think last month or July, somewhere around there, and my mom let me have this, and I'm very glad she did, because this is one of the best powder brushes that I own. Now I usually use really dense, stiff powder brushes, but this is so much better. It powders my face so well to the point where I don't need to reapply powder because it just really helps my powder lock in my makeup. So great brush.
And our last gotta have it for the month of September is something we both absolutely love. We've done a video on it where we did 2 looks with this one palette. I will also link that video up in the cards for you and down in the description bar below. That is the Makeup Revolution, the Emily Edit The Once palette. We both have this palette. We both absolutely love this palette. This came on vacation with me. Oh my goodness. It's just so stunning. I love the color selection here. I'm going to try to black out the mirror so it's not like reflective for you, but the color selection in here is fantastic. It goes from like browns and neutrals all the way over through pinks, purples. She's thrown in some greens in here. And there are some darker like purples and even a black and a dark brown in here. There are a combination of shimmers and mattes in this palette. The one thing that I will say with this that I like is my top favorite thing about it is that the colors are very muted. Now, I know I just got done talking about the Aurora Lights, which is all brights, and I love bright colors. But I find that I can't necessarily wear bright colors in like the winter time. It's very difficult to do that. So these colors are very muted and they're good all year round. You can create so many looks with this one palette. I feel like you can get a complete look out of the one palette. I think Emma differs with me because there's one color or one shade that she's missing. But otherwise, I just can't say enough about this. And the YouTuber who collaborated with Makeup Revolution, her name is Emily Noel. We will link her channel down below. You have got to check her out if you haven't done so already. She is so completely humble, genuine, sincere, and she knows makeup. She knows beauty products. Check her out if you haven't done so already.
As for me, on this palette, there just is a few things that I feel like could be better. And that starting is a brow bone highlight color. For my mom, there is a brow bone color, but for me, there isn't anything that really works for me because I like more of a shimmery, wet looking brow bone highlight, and I just feel like in this there's nothing really that would work for me. And my second thing is that the packaging feels really sturdy, feels great, but if you're someone like me who has major butterfingers, it does crack. There is a crack in my palette.
So a lot of palettes that are made out of plastic, they're plastic, solid plastic all the way through. Come to find out when she chipped this that it's hollow, the base is hollow inside, it's not solid plastic. So just be wary of that. Okay, we call this next section maybe products. These are products that we're still on the fence about. We don't quite know if we like them or if we hate them. So I've only got one maybe this month. Emma doesn't have any. My maybe for the month is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Matte Primer. So I also put this in my Ulta wish list video, and shortly after, maybe a week or two after, I actually picked one up. I've tried it at least half a dozen times, if not more so. The thing with this is, and I'm going to get to it when I talk about the coordinating foundation, it works really well if you put an absolutely thin layer on your skin. And it works well with other foundations other than the coordinating foundation. However, if you are not super duper careful about really working it into the skin and blending it in a thin layer into your skin, and you don't let it dry down, you put your primer or your foundation right on top of it, it automatically, like within 10 to 20 seconds, will turn your foundation into straight up cake. I'm not joking, people. You absolutely have to put a thin layer on, work it thoroughly into the skin, and then let it dry before you put any foundation over the top of it. So all that being said, it's still a really good primer. Once you do all those steps ahead of time and you're absolutely perfect about how you apply it. Any foundation you do put over the top of it, except for this one, looks flawless. It just looks like natural skin on top of your skin. So it just looks seamless and flawless. It does lock in the foundation all day long. It keeps me super duper matte. I do still have a little bit of oil that, you know, comes through after I've been wearing it for 10 or 12 hours, but otherwise I look matte, I look fresh, I look stunning. My skin looks stunning all day long. So it's still a maybe. And last but not least is our Don't Buy It products. These are products that absolutely did not work for us in the month of September or any months prior to that. Please take this with a grain of salt. If these products work for you and they don't work for us, that's great. Keep using them. And let us know in the comment section below how it is they work for you, how you apply them, how you wear them. Perhaps we're just doing something wrong. So my first Don't Buy It for the month of September is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. Now this is supposed to be in conjunction with the primer that I just talked about. I tried this combination on my face at least 3 times, trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's just the primer that's causing the problem. So I put this foundation over a different primer. Same problem. So then I figured out it wasn't the primer, it was the foundation. This foundation is pretty much powder with a smidge of water mixed in. It straight up looks like cake on the face. There is no time to work the foundation into your face. There's no time. You put some foundation on, and if you don't blend it in within 5 seconds, it turns to cake on your face. It's unbelievably bad. I can't, like, I'm so upset because this is supposed to be really good, especially with the coordinating primer. It's supposed to like keep you matte all day long, stay fresh, it won't break down, all those other great things about Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Oh, and the other thing I found was the times that I did use it with this primer, it would cake up in most areas, but in some areas it actually would like pull off. It was the weirdest, oddest thing I have ever seen in my life. So then I, again, tried this over different primers thinking that maybe it was the primer that was causing the issue. Nope, doesn't matter what primer I use underneath, it still does the same thing. It cakes up within 5 to 10 seconds of application, and it pulls in other areas. It like completely comes off in other areas. So I really think I'm going to return this. I don't even think I'm going to keep it in my bad stash, if you will. It's a full bottle. I used it a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's a pass. And my last Don't Buy It for the month of September is Tarte Cosmetics Lifted Mascara, and I think this is in the color brown. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't say on the package. I got this in either our Ipsy or our BoxyCharm. I think it was our BoxyCharm. In any case, this mascara is awful. Just real quick, you put it on and it flakes off within, half hour, 45 minutes of application. Doesn't matter what primer, lash primer I put on, or if I don't put on a lash primer, if I pair it with other mascaras, same thing, same problem happens. It just flakes off. So, total pass.
So that is it for our video. We both hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to click the subscribe button down below and the bell next to it to be notified of all of our new videos. Be sure to give this video a like if you liked it. And comment down below if you have any of these products and if you like them, what you think of them. And remember, we post 2 beauty videos a week. One on Mondays, which is a Mom and Me Day, and on Thursdays, which is either me or my mom. Be sure to connect with us on Instagram under MomNMeBeauty, and with me under Emma_N_2004, and with me also under the same username on Pinterest. Again, we both hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time in our next Mom and Me video.
Bye everyone.